It's Tuesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. By day girl, how you doing?
I'm doing amazing. It was good. After the show, Tokwe took me out for lunch.
Nice.
And when we finished that, I just went home to take a nap. By the time I woke up in the evening, my sister had made pineapple rice,
nice.
some kebab things. I just ate and got ready for work. I went to bed. And that was it. But I want to say thank you to all the people that reached out, all the friends that sent in messages. I'm still replying their messages on Instagram. I haven't even opened Facebook. I know when I get there now, it's tons of messages.
When are you going for
I appreciate you all. Thank you. I love you guys.
When are you going for the spa?
Yes, I'll pick a date next week. And do that. Yeah, because I need a full day and nobody should escort me, please. I want to go along. Thank you so much for the gift. Thank you.
How are you doing, Tokwe?
Yeah, I'm very good. So today I'm going to gist my Qatar gist.
Oh,
I reserved
it. You did this yesterday.
Honestly, I think that Qatar is about leadership. You know, you will see intentionality in the leadership. You will see response to challenges when they faced the blockade, the way they responded. A country that is in the desert boasting of food sustainability. Wow. They had a plan. They said if they ever face a blockade and they don't have food, they have grain stored up for months to ensure that nobody in the country would have issues of food shortage.
Well done,
it's
Joseph.
Intentionality of planning. The leaders caring about the people, putting structure on ground, protecting the interest. Because I went for a business conference, so the business people came to meet us to put us to come and invest in Qatar, and we're selling how wonderful Qatar is. But no matter how wonderful it is, you cannot own a business without a Qatari in the mainland. If you want to be in the mainland, a Qatari must be a 51% shareholder
in your business. Wow.
Matter how.
That's their way of protecting the interest.
Their resources.
Indigent also. Indigenhood of their country. It's interesting. When you were talking, I don't remember the video I sent to the group about the vision for Lagos. I mean, you guys to watch it. When I was just watching that video, it just shows visionary leadership. So we're not there yet. We are still growing, but if Lagos State can achieve what I saw in that video, in the next 20 years, we'll be so proud of the development that's happened, because that's vision. That's somebody thinking and being intentional about what we want to do for Lagos. So watch that video.
And now you're saying it, and I'm thinking I would like to see those videos and messages for Taraba State. I would like to see it for Plateau State. You know, I want this to be widespread.
Of course.
Yes, Lagos is good, is leading the way, so we know that it can be done in Nigeria. Because, you know, the question would always be, well, in the abroad, that's where they're doing it, far away from us. They have different factors that make it possible. But yeah, hopefully.
How you doing, though?
I'm fine. I'm good.
Good on you today.
Yeah, thank you. I think I love the color. It's
cool,
light, and it just makes for a happy ambiance.
I think for me, what this color does to me for you is like today
tones you down.
It calms you down. It really brings the hippie Mariam to calm down. Like, you know what I mean? I'm intentionally going to be calm.
But she's usually very calm.
But, you know, sometimes this color just makes you look as if it makes us know that today is a calm day.
It reminds me of the crystal amethyst. I wish you just added that on top there.
Anyways, I'm going to talk about our activity this Saturday as part of our line of activities.
Yes.
Leading up to Your View at 10. We'll be having a walk for equity on Saturday. Please join us at TVC. It's not a long walk. We're just going to walk down CMD Road and back. And then we'll have aerobics. We'll have, just a few talks, health talks and all that. So please join us. It's part of what we're using to round up the International Women's Month, because the idea is that women come together, and we're specifically inviting men. The men who are supporting women, if you're a he or she who believe in equity for women, please join us. We want to celebrate you on that day. So all the men, you'll be our focus, you know, so we'd like you to be on that walk. Please join us Saturday. Call time is 7 a.m., but we hope to start walking by 8, so before the sun comes. That's why we're back in time and everybody can go home. All right, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we go through the fun pages of the paper. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
All right, we're going to start with The Nation. Court order restraining IU deepens PDP's post-poll crisis. U.S., $100 million for 5 West African nations. Supplementary polls hold April 15th in Oyo, Imo, Edo, and other states. 489 electoral infractions recorded, 791 arrested during polls, says police. Colloquium put off for prayers to mark Tinubu's birthday. 77% Nigerian women risk skin cancer for using toning cream. How to make Nigerians unleash potential by ex-UK Prime Minister. Ngige meets Emefiele Ajero to prevent NLC strike. All right, which story?
Is taking steps to avert the impending nationwide strike of the Nigerian Labour Congress that was supposed to start on Wednesday. So we know that the labor union have threatened to embark on a nationwide industrial action if the cash crunch, fuel scarcity, and electricity tariff increase were not addressed. And in response to the strike threat by the NLC, Ngige had to invite the leadership of the NLC, the central rank of Nigerian management, to a meeting in his office yesterday to resolve the differences. And it was a 10-man delegation from the NLC. Including President Joe Ajero, the General Secretary Emmanuel Ugboaja, CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele, who was accompanied by 2 other people, Deputy Governors Kingsley Obiora and Ade Shonobi. And in his opening speech, that's Ngige, he was saying that he's been doing something about this matter, that immediately he received the letter from the NLC, he forwarded the same letter to the CBN Governor before traveling out of the country for an International Labour Organization Governing Board meeting, and directed the Permanent Secretary and Trade Union Services and Industrial Relations Department to follow up on the matter. Emefiele on his part said that when he received the letter from the Labour Ministry, he called the president of the NLC to brief him on steps that he's taking to alleviate the sufferings of the masses. And he also went further to have a meeting with the president, which resulted in them, giving a lot of money to the deposit money banks, and that's why Nigerians are able to withdraw some money from the bank. So the NLC, went ahead and said if the CBN governor had, consulted with the stakeholders before going around this policy, he wouldn't have felt it this way. But he just went ahead on his own and did it. So hopefully they will have another meeting today, which will determine if the strike will continue or not.
Yeah, the deadline, February 25th.
Yeah.
Trying to do something. Go ahead.
Yeah, I have the former British Prime Minister Boris Johnson. He's visited Lagos, and he's in Lagos for the 16th Osigwe Anyam Osigwe lecture series, and the lecture theme was rehumanizing human experience. And according to the former British Prime Minister, first of all, he says he's excited to be in Nigeria again, and that then he gave us conditions that he thinks will make Nigerians realize this enormous potential that we have. He says equality before the law, enforcement of laws without fear or favor, election of a leader through free and fair process is very necessary. He says prioritizing education and freedom of speech is also important. Also, in his speech, you could see he was trying to forge this relationship between the UK, a better relationship between the UK and Nigeria. He talks about Nigeria being a superpower for renewable energy, even still being the producer of oil and gas. And he says now is the time when many countries are, going their separate ways or disintegrating, but now is the time that Nigeria and the UK can come together instead and forge a deeper relationship that would affect the Nigeria positively, impact on our economy positively. All
right, so supplementary polls. INEC is saying that April 15th, we're going to be having polls in Oyo, Imo, Edo, and other states for senatorial and other state constituencies. However, more importantly, they'll be having the governorship elections in Kebbi State and Adamawa. If you recall, there were issues, the INEC had declared the elections there, the gubernatorial elections there, inconclusive. And the results from Adamawa especially was because the APC challenger had got about over 390,000 votes, while the incumbent had gotten over 420,000. However, the difference between what the incumbent has scored and what Binani scored was less than the number of registered voters within that area. So there had to be a rerun. So there were issues of ballot snatching, ballot box snatching and all that. So INEC has asked for a rerun, and that will happen April 15th. Hopefully by then, because that's the governorship many of us are waiting for, possibly the first female governor. We're hoping that if it goes that way, if
that's what the people want.
If that's what the people want, it'd be great to have that. But there's going to be a rerun on that in that state, and hopefully let people come out and vote so that their voices can be heard.
So the vice president to the U.S. is in Africa, a week-long visit, checking 3 African countries, and she started off in Ghana. That's Kamala Harris. And on the visit, she has pledged $100 million for 5 West African nations. And this is to counter the effects of the investment that China and Russia have made into Africa, saying that there's a lot of infrastructural investment by Chinese into Africa and a lot of military presence by Russia into Africa, especially because Nana Akufo, I want to pronounce Akufo-Addo, the president of Ghana, had said that he is concerned about the presence of Wagner Group, which is a Russian military group, and their presence in Burkina Faso very close to Ghana, and the fact that there's a lot of their military presence, a lot of West African countries are fighting one form of terror or
civil unrest.
Civil unrest, he said, struggling to quell violence of armed groups within their countries, and they feel that their presence, bringing in that money, funding the military, supporting the West African countries would help reduce the instability. However, the president of Ghana said he is worried about the fact that Africa is once again going to be the playground of world powers fighting for supremacy.
Okay, the punch. IU must go. G5 governors Atiku campaign clash. Ngige Emefiele meet NLC over planned strike. Lagos tenant stabs friend to death during argument. Ramadan VC senator-elect advised Muslims on kindness and sacrifice. Abacha died on the eve of dad's planned execution. Nigeria can defeat terrorism like UK, says Boris Johnson. Don't travel to states of origin for census, says NPC. And reps invite ministers, firms over $2.4 billion oil sale.
The human interest story. So a woman, Annie Ofili, allegedly stabbed her friend, Glory Okon, to death at her residence on the Greenville Estate, Badore, in Abuja area of Lagos State. So according to the story, said Okon paid a visit to her friend, Ofili, and then they started having a conversation. And while they were conversing, it degenerated into an argument, and then the scuffle started. They were shouting at each other. Neighbors were trying to, open the door, but they were not able to till they had to go and get the landlord. And before they could get into the building, she had stabbed her friend at the back and at the neck. She was on a pool of blood. In a pool of blood, and the friend was quickly rushed to the hospital, but by the time they got there, she was pronounced dead and then taken to the mortuary. As at the time they were writing the story, they didn't have an idea what caused the issue, but the police is aware. She's been arrested. Investigations are going to be carried out, and then she will be prosecuted, found guilty. All
right, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue with our review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling of those we love to hate. And yes, you guessed it, women. So, if you catch the drift, then you're onto something. We will provide you with the right insights into most of your curiosities, right here within this beautiful cocktail we call the Black Table. So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling of those we love to hate. And yes, you guessed it, women.
Ladies and gentlemen, make welcome pioneer Positive Force member, dancing queen of the 80s, non-conformist, Afrobeat historian in her right, and long-standing member of the multiple award-winning all-female show Your View, Omoyeni Yeni Anikulapo Kuti, aka YK Power! Ginger!
Yeah, take it.
Today we'll go here.
Hey, I didn't read you.
Are you sure?
Ha. I know. I'm not here to answer questions. I'm here to drink.
We're in trouble today.
Wait till your age.
I was close now.
Eh?
I said 1975.
He said 73. He said 75.
I confirm.
Fellas wasn't even born till 75.
So will I drink half?
You go drink. Take. Make I help you. Russian.
No be half.
Which half? You will make me drink. I'll give you a hint.
Lights in no. Nepa Road. Nepa Road in Abuja.
First of all, my brain cannot memorize everything.
A big black bug.
A big black dog.
Bug. A big black bug.
Oh, sorry. A big.
It don't start.
Omo omo fella. Omo Anikulapo Kuti.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing Punch. Anybody had a story?
Yes, I was going to take the story of similar to the story to Mariam took about Boris Johnson, but this time he was talking about how Nigeria can defeat terrorism in a similar way that UK did. He mentioned how the Metropolitan Police were so impartial and supervised, in securing UK, that they arrested Prince Andrew, who is one of the sons, the son of the late Queen. He also mentioned how the challenges with Nigeria, we need freedom, we need security, we need democracy, we need openness and tolerance to achieve urban success. He spoke about the fact that we can't continue to allow groups like Boko Haram and the Islamic State, where they believe that there's something wrong with reading a book, where children cannot read a book. He akin that to the fact that we are wasting our human resource. He said he ended with the thought that he cannot wait for, Nigerians cannot wait for the change to happen. There's a lot of breakdown right now. Right. And when some nations are being disentangled from one another, is the time when Nigeria should stand up and be great, and that UK and Nigeria are two strong democracies in the world, casting aspersions on Russia and China.
All right, so Dr. Babatunde Dia, the son of the former chief of defense staff, late Lieutenant Oladipo Dia, was speaking about the life and times of his father. If you recall, his father recently passed, and many have actually sent their condolences. He was particularly reminiscent on how his father cheated death twice, and this was a popular story for many who knew that where the first one was that when he went to the restroom and then the bomb exploded, and the fact that he was also sentenced to death. And the day before the sentence was supposed to carry out, that's when Abacha died. So everything, just believe that he was one man that really cheated death twice, and and God was with him, and we were just talking about the great man his father was, and may his soul rest in peace.
And he's getting a
Right,
state
yes.
burial.
Sorry?
He's getting a
He's getting a state burial
from
to Ogun State, which is fantastic.
I have a story in Punch. The National Population Commission has said that it has put measures to guard against all forms of malpractices ahead of the forthcoming population and housing census. So in response, that the spokesperson for the commission, Isiaka Yahaya, in response to questions on how it will take place, he says people should stay where they are to be counted. They are not to move to their states of origin. So you don't need to get on a donkey and travel to Bethlehem. It says it's totally against the essence of census if you leave where you reside to go back home, because they need to understand where people are, so those who would need, facilities like health and education. So it's important to know the number of people that are in a particular area at the time. And then he also said something. He said this is a de facto census where they'll be asking practical questions about those who are living, but not those who are yet to be born. They said we have not trained our enumerator to count people who are yet to be born. And they're saying that they'll make sure that this has, it goes smoothly, has no issues, and it has, integrity. So.
Okay, Daily Sun, more trouble for Ayu. I respect Yoruba, can't disparage them, says Nwanyawu. FG moves to avert labor strike over naira scarcity. Ayim Osigwe lecture, ex-UK Prime Minister, six stronger Nigeria between ties. Fanika Ode replies UK High Commissioner. FMC Umwa performs 11 kidney transplants and records 80% success. That's good news.
Yeah.
Polls. Police arrest 781 electoral offenders, recover 132 weapons nationwide. And pro-Tinubu protests rock Abuja. Suspended herdsmen kill 5 in Benue communities. Go ahead.
Good news. So, kidney transplants and nephrologist and immediate past chairman of Nigeria Medical Association, Abia State Chapter, Chimezie Okuono, said that the Federal Medical Center in Umuahia, Abia State, performed his 11th kidney transplant with 80% success in all the cases. He said the latest successful case was performed on a 68-year-old diabetic and hypertensive patient, and the patient suffered from end-stage kidney disease. He's been on dialysis at the BT Tutes Mediplex and Kidney Center, Umuahia. According to them, he said that the hospital has been having huge successes in the kidney transplant since inception, and they have a lot of issues that they are going through, which would which sort of challenges the kidney transplant. However, that they need support from a lot of people, politicians, people from across Nigeria, to patronize instead of taking the resources and seeking medical care outside the country. And so some of the challenges that they have is the manpower drain, out-of-pocket payment by the patients, and need for more equipment for a kidney transplant. But by the time people patronize, they will be able to get money for some of these things. It's a very good one. We have good hospitals here. We have great doctors here who are doing the job, and they need a lot of support from the state and federal government. And we also need to support them by seeking medical care within Nigeria.
So there was a protest in Abuja. Supporters insisted, these supporters under the natives, they call themselves on the age of the natives, to counter calls for cancellation of the presidential poll. They were coming out to say that they are declaring absolutely that no mandate was lost, INEC performed credibly well, and that the election was free and fair. But what was really disheartening was the fact that it disrupted. There were lots of daggers drawn, broken bottles, attacked fellow protesters, smashing of bonnets of cars, disrupting vehicular movement, forcing most of the cars to drive against traffic. This happened in Abuja, and it's quite disturbing that protesters come out and then attacking each other. You know, I saw a video that was saying recently that during Abacha, during MK of 1993, there was this kind of disruptions and people died. But Nigeria is still standing. Things will happen, people will die and go, but Nigeria is still here. So if you use your life to sacrifice, what's the point of going to protest and then go and start stabbing somebody and drawing knives? It doesn't make any sense. Let us tell our children, our loved ones, yes, protests should be civil and should be smooth, and it shouldn't turn to a bloodbath. And this is really quite painful. But there's nothing wrong in protesting. They're insisting that their candidate got over 1 million votes, and the 8 million votes are also human beings, and they also that the mandate was not stolen. That they also that this. Remember, there was a protest saying that the mandate was stolen. That they had to protest for the other party. I think it was Labour or PDP. But the APC guys are also coming out saying that they also
We said voted.
We too voted. So we're not insects now. We are human beings. All right, and let's move on to.
I have a story. Let me take the story of ethnic profiling and Fani Kayode's response.
FFK.
Yes, FFK, the former aviation minister and spokesperson for the presidential campaign, has responded to the British envoy, and let me just quote the British envoy because it was of the opinion that Fani Kayode's statement was inflammatory and that it was ethnic. The statement was that people shouldn't. It was inciting, and he said that nobody should be chanting anti-Igbo messages or walking the streets by the polling unit, which they observed in their. That's the UK observers observed that, and he said that the APC should have distanced itself from FFK's statement when he said that Lagos was no man's land. Well, FFK's reply was very, very, very serious.
Very, very FFK.
Very FFK. He said, this is my response, in addition to my response to the little Englander. Yes, he said, permit me to add the following addendum to my earlier personal response to the little Englander. Then he went on to say that the British diplomat had no right to interfere in what happens in Nigeria, that they're not supposed to interfere in our internal affairs or to be partial. They are not supposed to tell us what to do. They're supposed to, I stand by my word, that's according to him, and we do not need any lessons from him. Foreign diplomats come to this country to enhance our relationship, not to give us lectures. Of course, he said other things that are not relevant, but what he says is the British had no business interfering with their Nigerian
What's about the
affairs.
British to come out with their list, Sean?
What would they do?
No, do you know that list?
No, they are not supposed to show us the list. They said,
they will.
yeah, no, they said
They would just ban.
They said they wouldn't, yes. This time around, they wouldn't show the list. But they know
But they
people.
mentioned his name.
And it's growing.
Okay, Vanguard. Find a story of not taking. Lagos government grants access to Christian terminal classes. Kidnappers demand 50 million naira for abducted core members and 4 INEC officials in Kogi. Cash crunch in Gige weight in with NLC, CBN over planned strike. Any attempt to stifle press freedom unacceptable, says U.S. Embassy. Health, Nigeria's access to safe water still moving target. How Nigeria can unleash human potential, says ex-British Prime Minister Boris Johnson. 9 days after INEC holds on to results in 183 constituencies. All right, so the Lagos State Ministry of Education yesterday granted permission for classes in the terminal classes to access Christian High School Okwebi for the physical learning ahead of their examinations due to begin soon. So if you know, recall those classes that are graduating or moving to the next class, it's important for them to go back to school. So the school was shut down over the controversial death of the 12-year-old Whitney Adedino, who died on February with alleged electrocution, according to the coroner's inquest. The Commissioner for Education, Mrs. Folashade Adefisayo, in a statement said that while giving an update of the deceased student, Ms. Whitney Adedino, she hinted that arrangements are ongoing for other categories of the students to return to school. The school will remain closed until necessary judicial processes superintended by the State's Ministry of Justice and other ongoing administrative inquests within the purview of the Office of the Education Quality Assurance. So though they are opening those terminal classes, the judicial process is still ongoing with the school concerning the death of this young girl.
So I want to take the story of water. We still have a water crisis in Nigeria. Nigeria failed to meet the SDG Goal 6. We have only 10% of the Nigerian population having access to basic wash, and about 67% use basic drinking water services per capita. They also mentioned the fact that based on the 2021 mapping that was done by the UN, 23% of Nigerians do not have access to basic water services. It is a really sad thing, but the good news is there is a roadmap, and it seems like Nigeria is moving, according to the reports, that the access to stable water is still a moving target, which means we're not getting there anytime soon.
Okay, that is all we can take on Front Page Review. When we come back, we bring in friends from Roland Properties, our sponsor segment. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move weigh in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known, for when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century, speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
Ladies and gentlemen, please help welcome to the show, La General, the one and only Pere Egbe. Which of the following is false about teeth? We are born with 20 primary teeth. Teeth are the hardest substance in the body. Teeth are the strongest bones in the body.
Teeth is not a bone, actually.
Teeth can self-repair.
The strongest bone in the body, no. Teeth is not a bone.
Final answer?
Teeth is not a bone. You know what came to my head now? That sound. Crickets.
So, editor, you can put that cricket sound there. You can still put it down too.
When was the first Gulda ultimate search? Editor?
Don't put any cricket sound. I'm talking. Okay, Pere. How many times has Ghana qualified for the World Cup?
5 times. Hey, you can't do that now.
That's what it is.
Wait. Calm down. Why are you like this?
This is your team.
Small play now.
They will not
Somebody cannot play with you again.
They will not be impressed though. The team that you're supporting. And
Ghana will be alright.
Yeah, that's last.
Charlie? Cheers, Charlie.
Thanks for staying with us. On the show today is the head sales and marketing, Oludotun Olaoye from Roulette Properties. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you.
Good to have you.
Good morning.
Tell us a bit about Roulette Properties and why Roulette is actually a unique product and why should viewers patronize you?
Okay, so if there is anything anybody should know about Roulette Properties, is that we are working every day and every time to ensure that everybody, even the lowest earning person, have access to real estate opportunities, have access to real estate investment, is able to enjoy the dividend of the real estate business in Nigeria. And that is why when we talk rollout, we are talking affordability. And that is what is unique. That is the theme of our business. And so every day we continue to create opportunities for individuals and for corporate, you know, within the in Nigeria and beyond, for real estate opportunities and investment. So that's the theme. That's what is unique about us.
So there's this, you know, project you're working on is Iderade. Could you explain to us the concept of Iderade?
Yes, I'll start from the name Iderade. Literally, in literal terms, Iderade, like comfort is here. All right, that is. It starts from the name. Comfort is here. You know, so Iderade is a project that is self-sufficient. Is a self-sufficient project. Is a project that is developed basically to ensure that people have everything they need, even within the community. Right? Talking about the features like educational facility, health facility, recreational facilities, grocery stores, waste management facility, 24 hours power supply.
Let's not get an airport.
You know?
And a hospital.
So it's all encompassing, everything.
Yes, it's all encompassing. It's expected to give you the comfort. You know, we have this saying amongst ourselves in the office. We say that we want to create Lekki in Mowe. You know, Iderade is located at Mowe. Okay. You know, very close to the redemption camp. Not far from the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. And when you look at the proximity of Iderade, it connects you to all your areas of interest, right? 30 to 45 minutes to Ikeja, you know, about an hour, 30 minutes to the Highland.
I don't think Lekki is a good way to compare. Lekki is very crowded these days. We want a nice Iderade, calm, serene.
Calm,
serene. That's not Lekki right now.
And the luxury, you know, it's a luxurious, yet affordable. We are telling people that you can live that luxury life. You don't have to be in Lekki to live that luxury, to enjoy that lifestyle. We are saying that right there in Iderade, you can enjoy all of that.
So I like to start with cutting my coat according to my material. So what is the cost? What are the plans that you have? Can somebody pay installmentally? Can somebody pay out once? What is the package?
Okay, so I'll get there. So Iderade is started. The development is a 1,000 housing unit project, starting with 150 right now. But then we began to get inquiries. People began to say, okay, you know what? Can we get serviced plot within Iderade? I want to build my own dream home. And that's one of the things I've come here to share. To say we've hearkened to all of these calls. We've hearkened to all of these inquiries. And we are saying that right now in Iderade, you can get a serviced plot for yourself to build your dream home.
By yourself.
By yourself. Wow. Right? And there are a lot of offers on the table that allows you easy entry into this. And come to think of it, if you buy a service plot in Iderade today, before the end of the week, you can start building. It's buy and build.
Aren't you worried about uniformity?
Okay, so when we say build your dream home, we want to give you an opportunity to express yourself. You know, there's this thing you have in your mind. This is how I want my home to be. This is how I want my house to be, and all of that. You know, we want to give you the opportunity to express. Of course, we'll be with you along the way. You understand?
We'll guide my expression.
We'll guide. No. We will guide you. You know, we are there to help you bring your dream to reality, right? And so when you talk of uniformity, all of that, we are there. We are there right there with you to help you ensure that what you have in mind, you're able to actualize it, right? So there are the service plots available for everybody right now. Is buy and build. And when you talk about how do I get in, what's the plan and all of that, right now, we are saying, Christmas came early anyway, we are saying that you enjoy 25% discount on outright payment. If you are even planning to pay, you can also have, also have the opportunity to pay for 6 months, and you also enjoy 5% discount on that. And you can pay for 12 months at interest-free. Right? And we have half plot, 300 square meter, and 500 square meter, a full plot. So the 300 square meter is going for 4,950,000, and the 500 square meter is going for 8.8 million. And you enjoy all of these discount offerings at different levels, you know, to get into Iderade.
So I had a conversation just a few days ago with someone and saying that when you see the kind of developments that happen in the Lekki axis, the way the estates are built, we don't have a lot of that in Mowe. So I'm excited that there's that kind of plan going on within that area. And most of the questions that anybody would want to ask. But what would you say for somebody that is thinking, do I want Island, do I want Mowe? Why should they go to Mowe?
Okay, so you can see what is happening at Lagos-Ibadan Expressway right now. And I always say something. You see, when you see an environment that is still able to receive a lot of development, go for it. Now, one of the long-term benefits right there in Mowe right now, especially when you buy the direct service plot, is that you enjoy a 20% capital appreciation per annum. That's a long-term benefit. And we have also been able to find out that within the next 5 years, the rental income in that area is going to grow by 100%. So that is why you want to key in today. Right? Because a lot of, so Mowe now is susceptible to a lot of businesses and development. If you look at the statistics, you have a lot of people living in Mowe and working in Lagos. Right? And so a lot of people are looking for places to live. Businesses are coming there. It's no more the vast land and nothing is happening there anymore like it used to be. Right? So the long-term benefit is what you should go for. And even for diaspora, even for people in diaspora, there's one thing you must always pay in full, and that's your rent. You can decide to cut down your Milo or your provisions, but your rent, when it comes, you just pay for it. So the rental income, the capital appreciation, is a no-brainer. Especially the environment that we are talking about is still receiving a lot of development and infrastructure at the moment.
So in this particular estate, do you have provisions for commercial? Is it both residential and commercial, or is it strictly residential?
Yes, we are. Yes. So both residential, both commercial. We talked about the facilities that are coming in there: education, health, groceries, and all of that. All right. So we are open to conversation. What's your interest? Let's discuss your options. Let's discuss how you want to engage this opportunity at this time.
We'll see your contacts already on the screen.
Yes,
those want to reach out to you.
Yes, you can reach out to us. Let's talk about your options. The idea right now is what you want to buy into. Right? I tell people all the time that when you look at the long-term benefit of real estate investment or any real estate opportunities that has been shared with you, you don't want to pass out on them. And also, I should add that as an organization, I said earlier that it is buy and build. Yes. When you buy the right today, I can assure you that before the end of the week, if you want to start to build, you can start building. As an organization, in this quarter alone, we have allocated 5 of our other estates. As a matter of fact, this Thursday and Friday, we are going to Abuja and other places in Ibeju Lekki. Just to let people understand that, we care about your interest, we care about your dreams, and we want to help you to actualize it in good time.
You have to run?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Pleasure having you, Mr. Lawyer, here for always talking about Ulag properties. And we'll be sending people to you as they reach out to TVC.
Please.
All right, that is all we can take on this sponsored segment. When we come back, move on to our hot topic of the day. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, make welcome the one who can make time stand still forever, Mr. Kelechi Amadi. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, my brother.
You love that intro, Abi?
Yeah. It was great.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
We try like that.
Thank you.
Now my question, which I feel is a cheap question.
Oh, go ahead.
What does ISO stand for?
That is it. I think I'll drink.
No, you're joking.
I'm not joking.
Kelechi Amadi. No. Shay, you didn't whine me. You're whining me now.
I think I'll drink.
Huh?
No problem.
Okay.
I've always known this as ISO. I never bothered to know what it means. I know what it means, but I never bothered to know what the acronym means. Tell me the brand of camera that I use, so much so that I even became an ambassador. That's very easy. It's out there.
It's supposed to be, yeah.
I just said, let me give you this one as a token of my appreciation.
Sony.
Drink!
I'm not done. You did not say final
It's
answer.
final answer.
You did not ask me if that was my final
You don't
answer.
have any choice again. It's only
Nikon.
how many cameras do they have? My
Nikon.
friend to drink. I gave you a very easy something.
Nikon now. Ladies and gentlemen, make welcome the grand comedian of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Benga Dainka the First. OJ right here, 7 of 7, like you already know.
Benga right here, 7 of 7, like I'm beginning to know.
It's now time for the question.
You don't scare me one bit. Bata bata, I go drink. So,
Okay. So now one chance for enter. My first question. Do you remember the names of the winners of that edition of StarQuest?
of course I do.
Why do you?
And I hate myself for this because I have this question for you. Final question. Where outside Nigeria and what year? Think you're the only one that can be wicked.
I am thinking because I know back in the day.
Don't think. Answer my question quick. You are thinking too much. I don't like it.
The UK.
Final answer. Okay. I said, God, please, let me to perform outside Nigeria.
Wait.
And God gave me a show in Ghana. Drink, my friend, drink. I know.
I don't overthink this thing. See where I can.
Yes, you overthink him.
I would say you should catwalk.
Let's catch up. Where are we?
No, that's not catwalking.
That's good.
That's
good
walking.
talking.
It's not just where, but who wouldn't you want to work with?
Yes, that's on that angle.
So Laifa had a very, very interesting.
You wouldn't want to work with who?
Not
There's no
disrespect.
judgment.
No, and I
Oh, they'll
respect,
judge you
I
definitely,
respect
but we
this
won't judge
certain type of people. But what I dislike so much is when they tend to come to work and then they pour all their
Resentment from
on
who?
you. Is it me that offended you? I'm not the one. I have no business. Man, just come and work with you, pay me at the end of the month, and let me go back to my house in peace and sleep. But when it comes to like divorced people, I cannot work with a divorcee. I can't see myself doing that. If I find out, if you can hide it or not, but if I find out,
When they are nice divorcees.
I would just
What
be.
if they are nice?
Okay, now it depends. If you are nice, cool. But if you are the type that you don't know how to keep your anger to yourself, you always pour it on somebody. Well, I'll just drop my resignation letter. No matter the amount you're paying me.
So it's more passive aggressive people.
Yeah, I can't.
Thank you for staying with us. So yesterday, the Director General of NAFDAC, Professor Mujizla Adiye, was saying that the agency has identified that 77% of Nigerian women make use of bleaching creams, and the figure is the highest in Africa. Compared to about 59% in Togo, 35% in South Africa, and 27% in Senegal. She also said that we must be careful on the use of these harmful creams on our bodies. And it's an important time for us to talk about this because many people use bleaching creams. Some call it toning, some call it brightening, lightening, whitening, however you want to, whatever word fits you at the moment. But she is saying that 77% of Nigerian women actually use this product and they are harmful. That's our conversation today. The question is, are they really harmful? What data do we have to show that it's harmful? We're just saying it's harmful. And those that have used it over the years, how are they faring? I mean, that's our conversation today. And should we stop it completely and totally? Or should it be banned or regulated somewhat? What are your thoughts on bleaching creams in Nigeria? You can call us on 081-270-53687, 091-390-76948. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read the tweets. All right, let's talk about this bleaching or no bleaching because I always feel sometimes adults are supposed to make adult decisions, but somehow government always tries to regulate what adults choose to do with their own personal space. You know, as long as I'm not affecting the next person, why should government be bothered about my personal decisions as long as I'm not harming anybody else? What are your thoughts on it? Do you agree that we should curb the use of bleaching creams or we should allow adults to be adults?
I think that the government, you see, human beings, the government, the leaders, stakeholders, follow up from yesterday's conversation, have a responsibility to create an exemplary future, an exemplary life, a designed life for their citizens. So if I'm going to be burdened with skin cancer treatment in hospitals, then I would take the journey ahead and prevent skin cancer by ensuring that people don't peel off the layers of their skin and then expose their body to harsh rays from the sun that might lead to skin cancer. Some countries, knowing that diabetes is becoming a huge cost for the health sector, go ahead of time and ensure they educate people that exercise, cut your sugars, be conscious. The government, that's what the government is supposed to do. Design a better quality of life for the people. People might not know what they want. They might not even know what is good. They might just be following the mass market. But the government will now look at it that the mass market might not be good for us. That's why they recall some drugs, because they realize, oh, this drug has harmful effects. We know that our citizens deserve better than this. They recall some cars. This car is not safe enough for our citizens, so we recall it. And so I feel that NAFDAC is doing the right thing in making people more aware of the harm that bleaching does to their body. And we cannot deny the fact that when people look lighter, they look more attractive.
We'll talk about that in a minute. But what are your thoughts on this, on NAFDAC saying that they need to find a way to curb this?
I think they're doing their job. As an organization, they have a role to play in helping us get informed decisions. So they can't still cut down on those bleaching creams, and people will still insist to go for it. So when you insist, this is what you want, this is how you want to die, nobody would stop you. But then you have to pay higher, you know, saying so that you know you're paying for your death. And I think that's how it works all over, where they feel, okay, there are some countries, for instance, alcohol, they feel we don't want citizens drinking alcohol, probably a religious state, and then they make alcohol importation very expensive. So even if you decide to go and sin, you will be paying extra for the sin that you have decided to commit by yourself, you know. So I think they're doing the right thing. I think also that a lot of people do things because other people have done it. They've seen outcomes. So I remember when we were growing up, the pressure of the fair girls get all the jobs. And so some of us, you know, not me, you see me as
the modeling.
Yes, and some of us decided to start bleaching. If you see them now, they are white. I can't even relate the pictures we had before and now, wow. You know, because they wanted that, you know. And when they write the side effects, they don't write the long-term side effects. And I don't even see most of these cosmetic bottles, I don't even see side effects highlighted as such. You know, for smoking, they'll say smokers are liable to die young, right? There's nothing like that giving you a glimpse of what you would, you know, get at the end of the day. So you get it for the pleasure of today. I'm looking good, I'm looking okay, but you really do not understand the effects long term. And I think NAFDAC needs to insist, even if you want to start selling or you keep selling your bleaching cream, please give us the long term side effects. so that people will pick up your cup and see that in the next 10 to 20 years, I may come down with cancer. And if you decide to continue, that's fine.
Okay, I like that. But you see, Brian, let me come to you. Because I've heard this thing for many years. Oh, if you use this cream, you might have cancer. I have seen some of my mom's friends, my mother's generation, even slightly older, that they are alive today. they use that thing. That I remember that when I was a kid. These mummies were using this. They were putting it in the fridge. In fact, the harmful one was a harmful product.
Yeah.
That one is very harmful. Sugar. Something. That's one, the harmful one. They used to put it in the fridge. Hydroquinone. Yes, I think that's it.
Yeah.
They would put it on their skin, and they would, and I remember them. They are alive, and they are doing well. I still see them at Paris today. I still they're looking for girls. Like
you know what you're saying reminds me of a conversation about with someone a long time ago, and he was talking about his father that smoked for many years, and he's still alive and well and strong. But then the father eventually passed on many years after that.
Like every other human being will.
Well. And he had complications from smoking for a long time. So that we're talking about it now does not mean that complications may not be happening within. We don't know, And of course, we know that there are different factors that affect you. Some people will have cancer. Some people will have organ failures. Different sorts of things. And if you just never know which one it is that you will fall on. So And NAFDAC, being a professional health body, understands based on statistics and data and investigation that this is generally harmful to human beings. So it's important that they're sending out this message. I think their fight now. So first of all, it's important they're sending out this message because I believe that many adults who just assume that everybody's as informed as we are. We just assume that everyone takes the time to find out these conversations of how does it affect me in the long term or in the short term, and even if it matters, many people just do things because they see other people do it, because they see their favorite celebrity doing it, or they see someone who they like and admire who's done it and is doing well. I think NAFDAC's biggest problem would be social media and social media vendors. So before then, it used to be, the regular place you go and get your creams. NAFDAC, we've heard them do their regular raids, go into those markets, try to shut them down, go into pharmacies, try to shut them down. But I was watching a video of someone in Ghana selling trying to advertise bleaching creams. And someone was asking her question. I think there's someone we follow, both of us, Skin Priest, who tries as much as possible to educate people on some of the products that we use. And this person obviously does not know the effect of bleaching, as she was encouraging this bleaching and toning, And she has many followers, and people are buying her products. She's in her shop with all her bleach, and she's saying this is what she's selling. So what I feel NAFDAC should be doing, find, the word will be influencers, NAFDAC influencers as well, who will have some followers, who you can use to educate people and bring enlightenment and sensitize people. People are not listening as much to traditional media. Yeah. They are listening to social media. They are following influencers. That is the way to go now if you want that message to, get there. And then secondly, that whole picture of all bleaching creams, they are all toning creams. Those who know better or who are asking questions seem to know a little bit more. And some people are able to tell you, oh, there's a percentage of hydroquinone in this my product that does not make it harmful to me. So we need to sit down and educate people properly. Small education, little education is just as dangerous as not knowing anything.
Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll open this conversation further. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Ask questions if I want to ask questions, and if it's something that I saw coming, I may not even ask questions. I may just I may even tell you I saw this.
What if it's in person? But then would it make a difference where? So like this person might just say you can just be on 3rd Mainland Bridge on a bike and the person say, babe, I cannot do it again, and you lose range. So what would change the scenario for, like, Does it matter where? Do you want to have like a fancy dinner, like the film you were mentioning?
No, like finally I'll be right.
Or do you want to be on the street?
No, carry me go fancy dinner.
Or even just una dey run for treadmill.
Or una dey jog.
You tell you lose for your web.
Now I don't turn attempted murder.
So which would it be? Because I'm like, in person you have the closure that you want and the few injuries.
Guys, that's one place. It could be inside the car. You can sit down inside the car.
Why car? Why not bike?
Who will be driving?
Why bike?
Who will be driving at this
The car will
point?
be stationary.
Pray I'm not the one driving.
The car
Just
will be
pray.
stationary.
Because I go master. You can't be telling me like me. I'm going to drive near water.
All
You must consider.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have Made Kuti in the building. It's still 7 of 7, and we've been doing a whole lot of protesting. The only thing that remains is just to carry placard.
It's about 5 of 7, to be honest, because ask your question. I have so much to speak about once we finish.
We will not give you the time because it's 7 of 7.
I will make the time now. He said he will not ask questions about science.
No.
Neuroplasticity.
And based on
he asked a question that was subjective about high life, and he did not finalize his answer about a Kuti question where there are only 3 of us.
Editor, scratch this part out.
That could have possibly composed the music.
Editor, scratch this part out.
Stupidity is an act of ignorance.
Hey God, Made.
Was composed by which Kuti?
Femi Kuti.
Is that your final answer?
God, I'm Shion Kuti. No, wait, Femi Kuti.
You said
Femi Kuti. Wait.
You can't be allowed.
No, you've not asked me anything.
Everyone.
You've not asked me anything. So my final answer.
No. All I have to say is this show is really about drinking.
Yeah, that's the whole idea.
The questions don't matter.
That's the whole
Justice
idea.
is out the window.
We throw caution to
we
the
have
wind
no
right
morals here.
On the 7 of 7. Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing this bleaching, and we're looking at other angles. Is the pressure, societal pressure to be fair-skinned. Many say the pressure is real. Many say that they are part of industries. You just said your own experience also. But are there safer ways for toning? Can toning or lightening of your skin ever be safe? I mean, that's some of the data Nigerians wants to hear, because telling us not to bleach at all is almost as if, how can you tell me? But give me information, give me healthy options that I can use, don't you think?
So unfortunately for us, we love instant gratification. People want to get it now. I think about 3 years ago, I started having a conversation of going into cosmetics as a business. I remember I was talking with one of our makeup artists at the time, Regina. We had the plan mapped out and all that. I would have started since. But then some other people got wind of what I was talking about and said, you are black, they will not buy because you are black. They want to see somebody yo. And they will now feel that this is working. Because the person is fair, definitely it is working. And I said I've been doing research for this for years now, because as a dark person, of course, I like to look good and glow and all that, still maintaining my being dark, but then glowing in my color, my complexion. And I've realized that we have natural ways. Now, there are natural things I've been using for years, and I'm still dark, but I still look good. I still shine in my darkness. And that's what I want to, use for my business. No, if you're not fair, they will not believe you, they will not buy. So we need people, like I like the points that Miriam raised, where we need to get influencers that have their natural color. So we have two different complexions, or three. We have the extreme, naturally fair people. Natural, you see their knuckles, everything. That's how they were born. There's something to keep maintaining that. We have the black ones like us. We have the ones in between, like Tokwe is a bit in between. They are natural products that you can use from plants and herbs, and that's what some of us are using now. We can start encouraging those sort of businesses so that people will know that it's available, it's natural. It will take a long time because you're just maintaining what you have and shining with what you have. Not that from now, I use a 708 foundation, and then I'm jumping to 508, and you're wondering what 507, and you're wondering what is happening.
It comes to you, Tokwe.
Okay, so how will I put it? VC made a wonderful suggestion. Let them label on the body that you might have skin cancer. My dear sister, cigarette cartons in development, it's horrible. You will see lungs, you will die. As they put it on the pack of the cigarette, you are likely to die. Smokers die young. This kills people. The man will bring out money from his pocket and still buy the carton showing dead lungs. Very grotesque.
Because people will do what they
will still do what they want to do.
Just
but the government,
they do it here too.
Yes, they do it. Yeah, I saw it. I saw it here.
Okay.
I saw it here actually. I saw it. So my thought is the government would do what they can. It would reduce the number of people. Some people, just by seeing that gruesome picture of the lung looking terrible like that, might choose not to smoke. Some will go ahead. They don't care. So, but the government should do the part of putting it on all creams. Every cream label on the body that you are likely to have skin cancer if you do this bleaching. So, there are nomenclature. Why kid doesn't like when I say this, that there are different grades. There is bleaching, where you go from this to white. That's like bleaching. They do injections. We have celebrities.
That's extreme bleaching.
But we also have cases where I was on the site a lot last year and I really got dark. I had sunburn. My skin was looking very dark. Even the makeup artist complained that my foundation had gone shades darker. So I knew that I had to go into proper skincare grooming to get my natural skin back. Okay. And that involved me using specific products, not bleaching. Obviously, you can see my skin. But I started getting vitamin E creams that had vitamin E, that had vitamin C, that had pawpaw extracts. And those were natural things to help exfoliate my skin and then prevent sunburn. So there is grooming and there is whitening.
Yes.
But the whitening is the problem.
You enter a party, you're sitting down, and there comes this white skin girl, pretty, you looking all popping, and all eyes skin glowing, and she's coming in such confidence, and you're a young 22-year-old girl, and you're thinking to yourself, oh my God, I want that. I want to be that. That's my role model. Suddenly you become the role model. You want to have a popping skin. So now my question is, who is wrong here? Is it the girl who has chosen to bleach her skin and walk down and be the center of attention, or the young girl who's looking at her in awe, saying, I wish I was like this? Who do we stop? I mean, do we stop her from admiring it, or do we stop the other lady from being who? Because the truth is that whether we like it or not, people choose to bleach. And does that run negatively on young people? Let me take this call while you think about that. Good morning, Tunde from Magodo, you're live. Thanks. Oops, I'm so sorry for keeping you. But yeah, so the reality is that we are in a country where people like to bleach and look skinnier, look lighter and everything. Should this stop them from NAFDAC? Or can it be done in the most...
So this conversation is beyond... This part of the conversation for me is beyond bleaching of skin. I just think it just has to do with beauty standards nationwide, westernized beauty over any other kind of beauty, which is the whiter you are, the lighter you are, the blonder you are, the more you are seen as attractive. But I would say for our generation and the other, behind us, for the generations before us, maybe they didn't have any, they didn't have any role model that instilled in them the confidence the ownership of their own natural colors, because we would hear even our traditional songs, they had songs that highlighted the light-skinned woman and put her above all others. But for us, I know that for us, we looked at people like Naomi Campbell. We looked at people, you know, dark-skinned Hollywood actors and actresses, and we saw how beautiful they were. So for us, we could say, yes, you're a light-skinned, beautiful person, but there's also a dark-skinned, beautiful person who is on the same stage as that light-skinned person, or even a bigger stage. I mean, today, Naomi Campbell's dark looks, you know, is like the inspiration for many black girls around the world, whether you're African originally or you're African American. So when we have these sort of influencers, when we have this sort of inspiration, they help us, you know, to accept who we are and be confident in who we are. I think black skin is beautiful.
Right.
I know of a friend who says used to live in Europe, and she says because she was so dark skinned and so different from everyone, anytime she walked into the room, she got a lot of attention. So I don't know if the white people were now looking to her and saying, how do I get this dark? You know, that's why I said that it's beyond, you know, it's now beyond the skin color, because we know how they have made the black to mean, you know, you're less than.
Let me take this call. Yeah.
Okay, take your call.
Rita from Jos, you're live. Go ahead, please.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Rita.
Good morning.
I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Hi, Rita.
Good morning. So my question is, I'm a 21-year-old. I'm very young at that place, and I'm like the darkest person in my clique. Like all my friends are light-skinned. But I think everything boils down to your confidence, your self-esteem. So it's the way you carry yourself. All my friends, everybody around me, if they see me working, if I put on my makeup and everything, they admire me. So if I like what I am, and I like a black skin, everybody likes it, so and everybody wants to be like me. Thank you.
Thank you, Rita. Let me talk about Rita for a minute, because, I mean, when she was talking, I was just taking my mind back to when I was in school, and the pressure is real. When you're young, 18, 19, 20, your girlfriends, they're all going out, and that's the season where you're clubbing, you're partying. I can understand that Rita feeling a certain way because all your friends are fair skinned, and you have that pressure that maybe I can just turn up a little bit, but just, you know, maybe lighten up a bit so I can blend in. And then from then on, it gets lighter and lighter. Before you know it, you lost control. So how do we help someone like a Rita who are in different conditions in their life? How do they have confidence in who they are? What can we do to help them glow?
So you have people on your table that we all grew up the same, we are millennials, you know, and we saw this pressure, especially for most of us who were in Lagos. We came to the hub of entertainment. We wanted to do entertainment, wanted to model, wanted to do beauty pageantry, and I did quite a number of them. The competition was tough to the teeth. But there's something that I realized, and I don't know how I got it. I just realized that even at that age, I was comfortable in my own skin. I knew what mattered most. I knew that, okay, they had the shine when we get into a room, but I have the voice. I have the intelligence. And except you don't hear me speak, you will notice me. Except you don't hear me speak. And even as I went further for jobs and interviews, except I don't speak, you will, except maybe it's like those, I didn't get a lot of photo jobs, that's what the commercials, where it's just the face. I didn't get a lot of those at the time. But if it had to do with conversations, it had to do with you speak, and I would always get the job, right? So I knew where my strength was, and I built on it. And I built that confidence. I was comfortable in my own skin. And I'll tell young people around me, I have daughters that I'm raising them, and I'm beginning to teach them that look around you. In your skin, you can make an impact. We all have different shades. In your skin, you will do well. You go on TV, you come on this table. It's just a few of you that are light. We are majorly dark here, and we're making impact. So show them those examples and tell them, even if you want to do anything to glow up, go with natural products. From your kitchen. I make things from turmeric. I make things from carrots. I have carrot oil. I make natural things that, okay, I just want to shine. So instill that self-esteem, loving you in your package, because every package that God has given to you for this earthly experience, this is not who we are here for a reason. Fantastic. The package is for a reason. I will not be where I am today if I was light-skinned. I would have deviated from my path. So stick to your path and glow in that.
I love that, because I wish somebody told me that when I was younger. I'll come to my story. Let me take Alex from Jos. We have lots of Jos calls this morning.
Yes.
Good morning, Alex. You're live. Good morning.
Yeah,
welcome to the show.
I want to just add that contribution is, I think sometimes the matter of perception. My boss, who's from Kano here in the north, will always tell me that the thing is in Hausa, let me say it then I'll translate. Faramachi, Koma Yani Kai. What that means is that a fair lady, even if she's an Obanja, she's okay. So that's the perception some people hold, that once the lady is fair, then that's before.
Your volume is, your TV volume is high, so we can't hear you, and it's really difficult. Okay, let me wait, while you're talking, I remembered something, because the truth is that some of us didn't have that confidence as a young person. There's some people out there, they are in university, they're young, and they're still finding themselves. I remember that when I was a bit younger, I had two incidences. I had a car accident that I lost. I gained a lot of weight because I couldn't exercise. I lost my entire right thigh, and I was on wheelchair for months. I was on crutches. And even after I healed, I still felt really low. I didn't look pretty. I had to shave off my entire head. My hair scar took at least a year to heal. So I couldn't grow my hair. I had to be wearing head ties, you know. And a young girl that is like me then would have heard what you just said and believe that, okay, even though this is a phase where this is happening, when I'm ready, when I begin to evolve into who I become a better person. But at that moment, I was down. So that moment, I thought, oh, I could bleach. I told you, my mom sent me cream from Nigeria. Then I got the cream, and I started using it. But I just felt really down. I felt like an outcast. My friends were going out. I would tell I don't want to go to club because I just felt that, what am I going to go to club? What am I going to do? You're all wearing nice, skimpy looking things. I'm here. I have to wear, you know, I can't look like you guys. So I chose to stay back. So the pressure is real. For a young university student, it's real. I remember that time when I got the cream. I was using it, and I was feeling really good, you know. I started getting a bit lighter. My best friend then, Dolak, was like, you're looking very nice and pretty. It was helping my confidence. My brother now sent me, after a month, Mariah, I'm getting lighter. Are you bleaching? He told me, are you bleaching? Finally, he got me to confess. And I said, Mommy sent you this? You now call my mom, never sent this girl. You now pour everything away. I said, you don't need to bleach. What is all this nonsense? So he stopped, he nipped it in the bud. But the truth is that the pressure is real, guys.
Yeah, the pressure never stops, actually. The pressure never stops. So as a young person, you're trying to look like your parents. When you get married, you will see that you have children and your body changes. The pressure is still there. The pressure of, my body is not the way my body used to be. The body you did not appreciate as a young girl, you will now be missing it when you have children. You'll be like, and I used to be like this, so now this shape is no longer the way it used to be. There's another level of pressure. Oh, I want to maintain being a hot housewife. Another pressure. We're now in our 50s. Our children are going. Everybody is looking. I want to be. There will always be pressure. It is that you must always speak to yourself.
Hallelujah.
You see that speaking to you cannot wait for the world to speak to you. You must speak to yourself. Tell yourself you're beautiful. Tell yourself you're okay. Tell yourself that you will get over it. And that language, what you say to yourself, might end up drowning out the world if you are consistent in saying the right things to yourself. Love yourself.
That's good. Yes, fantastic. Because I'm thinking of
I want your point. Okay. But let me take Oluwaseun that comes to you. Oluwaseun, were you there?
Yes, I'm here.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, good morning, guys. I want us to, this made a statement, glowing in your skin. Anyway, before I go on, you guys are glowing in your skin color.
Thank you.
Yes. I'm going to, this is my opinion. You see, me, I think anyone that goes for that bleaching has this low self-esteem. It's my opinion. You know, has this, low self-esteem. Because you just have to accept you as you are. And again, you see, we don't want confusion. Because, the bleaching is not going to change the genetic code of your skin color. So now, if you used to be black and you are now white, if you give birth, you are not going to give birth to a bleached baby. So now, even if it doesn't have any medical implication, Why not consider the generation next? Mommy, how come you are white and I am black? So now we should consider that. And then for the government, I think the government should regulate, because we have had different stories, medical side effects and all of that. From bleaching. So government should do a kind of regulation. If you are not a skin care specialist, as in what I mean by specialist, a doctor, you should not be in the business of.
Right. Thank you very much. Let me take this tweet, then I have to go on a break. I want to take your point, Miriam. It says, those women that, this is to me, those women that bleached then don't look good today. Oh. Those ones have money to maintain it. That's another point. Stay with us, right back.
On your Gcash.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
It's not just where, but who wouldn't you want to work with?
Yes, that's on that angle.
So like, if I had a very, very interesting...
You wouldn't want to work with who?
There's no judgment.
No, and I respect,
they'll judge you definitely,
respect
but we won't
this
judge
certain
you.
type of people. But what I dislike so much is when they tend to come to work and then they pour all their
resentment from
on you. Is it me that offended you? I'm not the one. I have no business. Mom, just come and work with you, pay me at the end of the month, and let me go back to my house in peace and sleep. But when it comes to like divorced people, I cannot work with a divorcee. I can't see myself doing that. If I find out, if you can hide it or not, but if I find out,
when they are nice divorcees,
I would just.
What if they are nice?
Okay, now it depends. If you are nice, cool. But if you are the type that you don't know how to keep your anger to yourself, you always pour it on somebody. Well, I'll not drop my resignation letter, no matter the amount you're paying me.
So it's more passive-aggressive people.
Yeah, I can't do it. I'm so sorry.
Oh, definitely.
And I cannot work with stingy people.
See this one.
Because you cannot be passing me in the morning, afternoon. I can say, oh, hi, I'm working. Oh, yeah, take 100 naira, take 10K, take 15K. You don't have to be my sugar daddy or sugar mommy. See, the way you treat others is the way they will treat you outside. And if you cannot treat your workers well, they are not a good boss. If you cannot be dashing me small thing or giving me donuts when I'm working, you are not a good boss.
Ladies and gentlemen, make welcome pioneer Positive Force member, dancing queen of the 80s, non-conformist, Afrobeat historian in her right, and long-standing member of the multiple award-winning all-female show Your View, Omoyeni, Yeni, Anikulapo Kuti, aka YK Power! Ginger,
Take it.
Today we'll go here.
Hey, I don't read you.
Are you sure?
I'm not here to answer questions. I'm here to drink.
We're in trouble today.
What's your age?
I was close now.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing. Let me come to Mariam.
Yes, I just wanted to say, BC, you mentioned using natural products to, instead to maintain your skin. I just wanted to say that even natural products can be harmful if used for bleaching. And we have natural products that people use for extreme bleaching. So because the reason I'm mentioning it is many girls have been sold organic natural products. And you think it's healthy, but it has the same effect as if you were using any chemicals for bleaching. But I was going to say that growing up, I think for me, what's helped me is that I had family that this was a conversation. I mean, when you're raised by many women, they have this conversation of different skin issues, and I heard a lot of how, from them, how you just maintain your color. They'll mention maybe someone that they used to know who bleached, and look at how she's not looking good anymore, so it was in my subconscious. So I never had that pressure to look any other way than I did. And then I went, and in Jos, I have said this so many times, there are many black beauties. I mean, you look at a black person and be like, I wish I was as dark as you. My brother, they call him Kamal Cole, because they say he's charcoal. And he has owned the name. I mean, this is something that they'll use as a teenager to make fun of you, but he's owned the name. And for me, if you grow up in a family or you have a support system that constantly uplifts you and tell you how beautiful and good you are, you're likely to grow up and go out and not have those pressures. Yes. I remember I made a friend during, you know, when you're doing like your SSC period, I made a friend who went to a different school from me, and she would tell me of how the school had a lot of Igbo girls, and we know Igbo girls are light skinned. Yeah, so she's Ghanaian, and she was quite dark, and she told me all the creams that she started using to be just like them. Those girls were also using those creams, and she was surprised that, how come you didn't have those pressures, you know? Maybe because of my own upbringing, I already had that, I was already pumped with that confidence, so I didn't have to, you know, I didn't feel the pressure. I'm saying this because of the young girl that's out there, one. I'm saying it also for the adults around young people. Exactly. You can use your voice to teach them. You encourage them. When they see you, how happy and confident you are in your own skin. And then if you made mistakes, I have an auntie, there's a particular product, I won't say it, she told me from when I was small, every time I think about bleaching creams or soaps, she will mention that product. I remember her, she said, never use this. Look at what it's done to me, you know. So I saw her own example, and it ran in my head for so long. And I'm hoping that the conversations I'm having about skin too is influencing my daughter. Right. And when she goes out, there will be no yellow person or yellow people or people, you know, okay, you have a call. And I'm going on.
Toby, how you doing? Sorry for keeping you. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Good morning. I want to, okay, so let me start from what BP said earlier. She talked about being comfortable in your skin. Topper talked about societal pressure. And I think the last caller also talked about societal pressure, you know, not having inferiority complex and the rest of them. But I have a question for you beautiful ladies. I'm looking at your beautiful faces, and this thought came to my mind. And the question is this. Is there a difference between somebody who bleaches her skin, somebody who does BBL, you know, the Brazilian bomb, somebody who wears a wig? Do you understand? Because could it be that we're all trying to be Western? Could it be that we're not exactly confident in our skin, just like Miriam just said? Do you understand? Miriam was saying, you know, you need to be confident in your skin, in your hair, in your, you know, should we be confident in our hair, in our bomb, in everything that we do? Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I love it because sometimes when we talk like that, it looks like we're calling out the hypocrisy. So you pick the one that you're strong in, you pick the one that you're, and you call it out. So for me, anytime I discuss things like this, I always talk about it also from the health point of view. At what cost? To what extent? Yes, I wear the wigs for, you know, for TV, for outing, you know, because... And, you know, when I sit down and I question myself, is it that I'm not proud of my own hair? So I am proud of African hair. I see African hair. I love Tokwe's hair. I love YK's hair, you know. And I love the way they're able to carry their hair and, you know, wear it confidently. So it's not that I don't like African hair. I don't find African hair beautiful. I feel that my own particular hair type makes it hard for me to be able to wear it out. And so that is an insecurity, right? But I'm not saying that black, okay, so it's just like, I'm not now saying that black skin in its entirety is a bad thing. I'm not saying that, so what I'm saying is, you can now, you know what your own insecurities are, but if what you're doing does not affect your health, so you're doing the BBL and it's not something that you have to lay your life on the table, there are too many issues.
You can't compare them.
So I cannot compare them because it's not about my life. It's not about my health. So there are some beauty products that you can use.
So if you compare them, you can as well say don't wear Western clothes because they are not African.
You can choose not to.
No, I'm just saying, let's go the long haul now. Yes. Don't wear Western clothes, just wear only your Adire and Ankara, that's all you have. Don't use phones because you are not making it here. It's Western, you know. Don't do this and the list goes on and on. But the idea of the whole thing is, like she said, is it directly affecting my health? Am I wearing a piece of my wig like I wear a piece of my clothes? This is like the most convenient for me. I am busy. I do not have time to use 30 to 45 minutes to brush one hair every day. I don't have it. And I'm sorry to disappoint anybody, but I don't have that time, right? So this, as I'm picking my clothes in the day, I have different colored wigs. I'm picking, okay, which color of wig will match the color of shoe that I'm wearing today. In my head is a piece of clothing. Right. And it doesn't affect me naturally. I've worn my natural hair here several times. It doesn't alter who I am. It doesn't affect my beauty in any way, even though they say I have solar panel. This is even covering my solar panel, and I'm confident to focus on what I'm not fighting people on YouTube as I'm making my point. Do you understand? So the thing is, the message here is, we will all pick and choose. But in how we pick and choose, we must be wise. And it goes beyond just picking and choose. Because if we say, let's go down this road, we will go to our religion as well. We all worship a white-looking somebody as God. It goes deep. No. Shebi, we want to keep Western away. Listen now, we want to keep Western. No, it goes that way. Because the thing about this thing is, the eyes are the window to the soul. And it goes to a subconscious level where naturally, even children begin to feel that light-skinned people are superior. It's natural. And that's why I applaud all those people who are creating baby dolls of dark-skinned baby dolls. The children are beginning to see and relate with it's okay. Sometimes my daughter will come back and say she wants to add attachment to her hair because her hair is not that long. And I say, your hair is long, it's kinky. It's just that when air touches it, it shrinks. We have a lot of shrinkage. And I give her examples when I comb out my hair and when I allow it shrink. I said, that's the hair that God has given to us. So we cannot compare everything. If we say, let us abandon Western and be African, we will abandon even some of the food that we are eating.
So it's not, I don't think it's completely Western, because it's not about that Westernization, or else BBL is not Western. It's the African body people are put. So I don't think it falls under the same as clothes or phones or using gadgets. I think they're two different conversations.
And I agree with her that we can't compare it. It's invasive. The bleaching is invasive. Surgeries are invasive, and so we can't compare it with someone that is putting on African, non-wearing Africans or wearing wigs. But let me make this final point. I know we need to go. Final point. Please, no matter what you want to do to your skin, never ever bleach your child's skin. Don't bleach babies, don't bleach children, don't bleach teenagers. Let people grow and make the decision by themselves. As a parent, yes, you're responsible for the children, but don't say you want your child to be lighter skinned than their natural color, and then you will damage their skin as babies. The damage is huge, and it is irresponsible for parents to do such. Thank you.
Okay. That is all we can take on this segment. It's Tuesday. We have to have some health talk. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
And ask questions if I want to ask questions. And if it's something that I saw coming, I may not even ask questions. I may just... I may even tell you I saw this.
What if it's in person? But then, would it make a difference where? So, like, this person might just say, you people can just be on 3rd Mainland Bridge on a bike. And the person say, babe, I cannot do it again. And you lose range. So, what would change the scenario? Like, does it matter where? Do you want to have like a fancy dinner, like the film you were mentioning?
No, like finding up here.
Or do you want to be on the street?
No, carry me go fancy dinner.
Or you are just una dey run for treadmill.
Or you not a job.
Don't tell you lose for your web.
Now I don't turn attempted murder.
So which would it be? Because I'm like, in person, you have the closure that you want and the few injuries.
Guys, That's one place. It can be inside the car. You can sit down inside the car.
Why car? Why not bike?
Who will be driving?
Why bike?
Who will be
No,
driving
now
at
the
this
car will
point?
be stationary.
Pray I'm not the one driving.
The car will
Just
be
pray.
stationary.
Because I'll go master. You can't be telling me like me. I'm going to drive near water.
All
You must consider.
So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling of those we love to hate. And yes, you guessed it, women. So, if you catch the drift, then you're onto something. We will provide you with the right insights into most of your curiosities, right here within this beautiful cocktail we call the Black Table.
Thanks for staying with us. Last Friday was World Tuberculosis Day. It was a worldwide event that aimed to raise public awareness of tuberculosis and the efforts made to prevent and treat this disease. In commemorating the day, we have an infectious diseases physician, Department of Internal Medicine, LUTH, Dr. Adefolari Okwawoye, MBBS. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure being here. Thank you.
So let's remind our viewers what tuberculosis is.
Okay, thank you very much. Tuberculosis is a disease which is caused by a bacteria. It's called Mycobacterium tuberculosis, and it could be a very dastardly disease actually. But the good thing is that it has a cure. You can totally be cured about it, and it's a very serious public health problem. Almost every year, more than 500,000 Nigerians are infected with this disease, and out of that, about half of that, that's almost 250,000 people die. That's a lot of deaths, and I'm so glad that we're having an opportunity to talk about this here.
Yes, so we know that every March 24th, there's usually a walk to create awareness. But what other aspects of awareness, aside from the walk, do you engage in? Do you have every hospital center have like a tuberculosis section where you can give information? Or what other things do you do aside from just the walks?
Yeah, definitely. There are so many things that we do. So different people, different organizations within the health sector have different activities for that day. The walks, like you said, are part of it. Sometimes you do seminars, you do symposiums. Sometimes we release statements on social media. We release statements on Twitter, on Instagram about this day, trying to educate people. For example, the theme of the last celebration was "The Clock is Ticking," showing that the damage to TB is unrelenting, from TB is unrelenting. And just like the way the clock is always moving, this disease is going on. Whether you are aware of it or not, it's killing people almost on a daily basis. And so we have so many activities, and this is also one of them, actually, trying to just increase the awareness on tuberculosis, how it can be diagnosed and how it can be treated, and most importantly, how it can be prevented.
You say that it kills people every day. So how would you describe, if we were to compare tuberculosis in Nigeria and Africa, and maybe, we always use the developed countries, how would you say we're doing in comparison to them? That is, in how widespread the disease is, or how often people get sick, and the treatments available compared to what we have in developed countries?
That's a serious question. Quite wide, actually, also. Now, for tuberculosis, it's more endemic here. It's our problem. It's a local problem. So the same way you have malaria as a problem in Nigeria, and it's not a problem in the US, it's the same way you have tuberculosis as a problem here. But you see, the advantage of that being a problem here is that it's something we are very familiar with. We're very skilled at diagnosing it. We pick it up very fast. It comes up to the forefront of our thinking many times when and present with similar symptoms. So that's the advantage. For example, if you travel outside the country, Lonat, you can pick up Lonat from almost anywhere in this country. But to get Lonat in the US, you have to really check. And that's why a lot of Nigerians, take their drugs along with them when they're traveling. So we're doing quite well with the treatment because it's something we're familiar with. It's something that every medical student we trained is trained to recognize. So we pick it up quite early. And but because of the burden of disease, is far more here. So we have far more deaths. And that's why I mean, for example, if you're traveling outside the country, they ask you to do tests for tuberculosis and all that. We don't bother with that here because it's our problem. But they are worried about you bringing it in. So they want to check and make sure that you're not carrying what we call latent TB. That's TB that is in the system, but it has not really shown up. So it's a double-edged sword. Right. The advantage that we have here is that it's a lot. And so we see it, we are very experienced with it, we have very good treatment pathways for it, and we have good successes, so long as people show up on time and take their medications.
Okay, so I wanted to ask you, because it's something very preventable, why are we not having, why is this not something like the way we're doing with polio, wiping out polio? Why can't we wipe out tuberculosis by getting everybody vaccinated?
Wipe out is difficult. I mean, in the entire human history, there's only one disease that has indeed been eradicated. And that's smallpox, which was eradicated in the 1970s. The last case was in Somalia in 1979. Before you can totally eradicate a disease, there are so many things that so many lines need to fall in place. As to the fact that there's a direct organism that you can tackle, there's only one person that is carrying the disease. There's no intermediate host anywhere. It's not as if you wipe it out in man and the disease is resting in animals or something. So it's not that easy. Now, even polio, we say polio is eliminated. Not eradicated, because we are still having some cases of wild type polio here and there, but very sporadic cases. So yes, there's a lot of work going on with tuberculosis, but it's more difficult. There's a vaccine for it. That's the BCG vaccine, which everybody should have had. I mean, most of us will have this scar on the left shoulder to show that we have a BCG. If you don't have it, I'll be very worried. But most of us have it. There's very good coverage. But the BCG really works better for what we call extrapulmonary tuberculosis. That's the one that affects other systems in the body. TB is a very funny disease. It can affect anywhere, though it mainly stays in the lungs, But the BCG really protects the one outside the lungs. And then it is highly contagious. You could have one case of TB in a house, and before you know it, it spreads to everybody in that house. So all these things make it quite difficult. And then, of course, it's a long disease. When we treat it, sometimes we treat for 6 months. Sometimes we treat for 12 months. In those 12 months, it's very easy to jump to another person. So we are still very, very far from eliminating or even eradicating tuberculosis. But I love your vision. It's a very, very ambitious one as we try to work towards it in the health sector.
What are some of the symptoms? Because this is a country where half the time you enter the hospital, they're diagnosing you for either malaria or typhoid. So sometimes, what are the symptoms, especially parents, to look out for? And at what point do you have to isolate? At what point do you think it's time to isolate a patient from the home?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. The biggest symptom of tuberculosis is cough. If it is pulmonary tuberculosis, like I said, it can affect the lungs. The lungs is the major organ that it affects, but it can basically affect any organ in the body, anyone, the brain, the spine, the kidneys, anywhere. It could go anywhere. But for the lungs, usually the person coughs. And the cough of TB is a cough that lasts usually a bit long. It lasts for more than 2 weeks. So what we usually say is that if you are coughing for more than 2 weeks, we should be worried, and you have to check. Especially when with the cough, you are now losing weight. Not as if you're going to the gym. or you are fasting, or you are trying to lose weight intentionally, we call it unintentional weight loss.
People, doctor,
or you start to lose weight.
People cough daily.
Yeah,
I mean, people cough, but so what's the duration of this cough we're talking about? How long do you know that, okay, this is something I need to take to the hospital? Oh, sorry, I missed it.
2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks.
Oh, sorry.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
How
Cough of
intense?
more than 2 weeks.
How intense
And
as well?
when it is accompanied, how do you measure the intensity of cough?
Sorry, say that again, please.
If you have a cough,
yes.
if you have I said, how do you measure the intensity of cough?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a cough. It doesn't have to be the active cough.
That's what we see as tuberculosis.
But any kind of cough you're having more than 2 weeks, please. Because it's not only TB, but anything more than 2 weeks, you should be worried. Yeah. Come into the hospital. And especially, like I said, if the cough is accompanied by weight loss, unintentional weight loss, not like you're trying to lose weight, but you're just seeing you're losing weight, you're getting tired, you're sweating at night. I mean, these people, they sweat, sometimes the whole bed is soaked, and then you're having fevers. I mean, there are people sick around you now, then you have to be worried. I mean, this is not a normal cough, So, but you see, our people, they have cough, they go and take cough syrup, they try to suppress it. But like I said, when you have cough more than 2 weeks, anybody with cough more than 2 weeks, we usually recommend that you get to the hospital and probably get a TB test. Yeah.
So it seems to me that the one that affects the lungs, at least you have the cough to show for it. How would you know if it's TB that's affecting the brain or something else that that doesn't show as cough? He said, "Oh."
That's the question we'll ask our medical students when they're about to write the exams. Because it's quite difficult, Yes, but usually you have weight loss. You have systemic symptoms. The person is losing weight unintentionally, and if it's, for example, if it's in the brain, the person may start to be a bit irrational. Start doing some one-on-one. Like we say it in Yoruba, start getting angry anyhow, start talking off point. The neck will start getting stiff, so you tend to be like, maybe there's a problem there. If it's something in the stomach will start to get swollen. Okay, if it's the TB that are causing the intestine. So, so it has a lot of ways it can show up. But most importantly, maybe if I could say, is that the person starts feeling sick, the person loses weight. And this is not like you say the ubiquitous malaria typhoid. You have treated malaria once, twice. It is not going. It is not malaria. And it is not small malaria, small typhoid. You need to seek expert care because something sinister may be ongoing. And the challenge sometimes we have in the hospital is our patients present too late.
So how?
And there's nothing anybody can do.
How do we prevent tuberculosis? Prevention.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
How do we prevent it? What are the things we need to do to avoid?
Prevention of tuberculosis is multifactorial. Like I told you, the BCG vaccine is one of those things we do. When we give people the vaccine, it helps, like I said, to prevent one form of tuberculosis. Another way we try to prevent it is quickly diagnosing cases. So,
we're having a bit of breakup. We can't hear you, Doctor. Dr. Paoye, are you there?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I am here.
We lost you for a minute.
Probably it's the network. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, am I back?
Yes, you are.
Okay, apologies for that. That's the Nigerian network. Okay, so like I was saying, the ways to prevent TB, that's what I was talking about. Although I was talking about the ways we prevent tuberculosis, we start from the vaccination. We vaccinate every newborn with a BCG vaccine. It helps really good.
Right.
It's a long way. And then I also talked about quickly identifying cases and taking them out, isolating them before quickly treating those cases.
Right.
And making sure that they don't spread it to other people. If we have a better quality of life, better socioeconomic circumstances, there's no overcrowding, people are living in well-lit spaces with a lot of good ventilation. Yeah, all those are things that we can do to prevent these deadly diseases.
Right. All right.
Okay, so for those people who are not vaccinated...
And also, it's highly linked with HIV. Yeah.
Oh. Okay. So for those people who are not vaccinated and they are not aware that they have tuberculosis and they find out at the late end, is there any hope for them? From tuberculosis.
Did you get that?
Tuberculosis.
Dr. Pawoye, did you get that? I think we've lost him. Hello, sir.
To piece it together, if I could.
We didn't hear what you said.
Yeah, I need to. Can you hear me?
No, now we're hearing you. Get it. Now we're hearing you.
Great.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay. Yeah. So what I'm saying is that the question you were asking was if someone is perchance unvaccinated and they discover they have TB, is there any hope for them, right? Did I get that?
Yes.
Okay. Well, like I said, if you are in Nigeria, you're not vaccinated, I'm very worried because we have a very robust system of vaccination. And it's one of those vaccines that we take from the first day the person is born. In fact, I know parents that will not allow you to come and visit their newborns if they have not been vaccinated. You know, that's how strong and how successful with that particular campaign. So, not vaccinated. We take the. We'll treat you. I mean, you come into the hospital to make a diagnosis and we treat. The good thing is that this treatment is free. We have very good programs for that. Totally free. The entire cost of the treatment. I mean, yes, you may have to pay some small monies for some drugs and all that, but it's free. And it's something very good that we have been able to do here because, for example, for multi-drug resistant TB, that's the senior form of TB, which happens when people don't take their drugs well, because this is a drug we take for 6 months. And the average Nigerian cannot complete anti-malaria of 3 days.
Right.
They will use it for 1 day. Once the fever is gone, they will stop.
Yeah.
So, and you know, it's a bit like you know,
right.
I mean, sorry, I'm a Yoruba, but like Abuja. You
no,
know,
trust me, we know. From all your conversation.
If you don't kill, if you don't kill Abuja properly, then when you shoot him and he manages to escape and come back, call it Padabo Abuja, it can very dangerous. You know, and that's how
Dr. Pawoye.
So when, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we have to wrap up with you, but because before you came on, we had discussed bleaching the skin. And since you're an infectious disease physician, do you have an idea the dangers of skin disease or those who have used prolonged bleaching creams? Just give us an idea of what you know about this.
Skin disease.
Or if there isn't any.
Thank you very much. The question is more suited to dermatology anyway.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, there are so many dangers of bleaching, but the most dangerous is probably skin cancers. Because you know the skin loses its natural protection from the rays of the sun, and then there's a very increased risk of skin cancer. That's a bad one. A lot of times when people have it, it's difficult to cure. It usually kills them. So it's really not worth it. Unfortunately, there are a lot of unlicensed people here and they're doing all sorts of things. You know. So thank you for that.
Thank you very much, Dr. Opaoye. It was a pleasure having you on the show to share your thoughts, especially on tuberculosis. It was celebrated last week, Friday, and it's important that every year we remind ourselves the importance of ensuring every baby is properly vaccinated and remind people on how to ensure they can get it quickly diagnosed. If not, it could lead to death. That's all we can take to today's show. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.